Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, the waifus have returned. Yes, I am once again playing Labyrinth, and in all honesty, not much has changed, except I think last time I wasn't playing Lord of the Heavenly Prison, and now I am, because I don't know why I wasn't previously. So there's that. Anyway, let's quickly do the card by card, or actually, I'm going to justify why I'm playing this deck. 1. Trap cards are cool. Specifically, non-continuous trap cards. They're cool. 2. I actually really like the way that this deck plays. I wasn't a fan of it when I first saw it because it was a waifu deck. Like, who cares? Like, yeah, okay, I don't... Like, lovely labyrinth. Woo. Anyway, but when I actually played it, it's super fun. I like being able to, like, the idea of set 4 pass, but then actually interacting with your opponent and being like, maybe I should compulse this. Maybe I need to IDP or something like that. It's very cool. I really like the way that this deck interacts. And yeah. And then 3, Eradicator is very funny. So there you go. Let's actually go through the card by card now. We're playing 2 Absolute King Backjack. This card is very nice to send off of Ghastly Glitch, or just to have in general, because if it's sent to the graveyard, you get to stack the top of your deck, and you could potentially get a trap on the opponent's turn as well, which is very nice. But we're only playing 2 because I want to play a concise 40, and this is the most cuttable of the cards. Mostly due to the fact that you don't want to draw multiple of him, like at all, and you can send him again off of the Ghastly Glitch. So there's that. I don't know. Yeah, nice, but not too necessary. Next up, we have 2 Stovey Torby and 2 Chandelier, or Chandragalier. I don't know how to say this. The Stovey and the Chandelier. We're playing 2 of each of those because it's basically extra copies of Welcome Labyrinth, which is very nice, and it can also get you into Labyrinth for the setup on the opponent's turn. Where you can like flip it if you're going second, and then you have something that you can activate to deal with it, cards on the opponent's field. But more importantly, the only reason that we're playing 2 of each is because, again, drawing monsters isn't as useful as actually drawing the trap cards, so it's better to have less of these, and we're playing 2 of each so that we have the ability to either special summon or add to hand if need be. We have the one Ariana, or Ariana, I don't know how to say this one's name. We have the triple Ariana. We have the one Ariane, I'm going to call her. The one Ariane because it's okay. It's nice to summon if you're already basically winning, to summon it off of like a Welcome Labyrinth if you already have like the Ariana and the Lovely Labyrinth, because then it triggers this one, and this one if you remove a card from the field, which is very nice. But other than that, there's not really a good point to it, but it is nice to have that additional name. Then, of course, the triple Ariana to search a card, which is very cool. We have the double Pank because I had a lot of trouble going second, so I was like, okay, you know what? We're going to take out some cards, and we're going to throw in some going second cards. This card is absolutely insane. Why is it at 3? Who put this card at 3? Why is this card available to be played at 3? I would play 3 if I could. Yeah, honestly, just play 3 of it, because Pank is that insane. Then we have the 2 Lovely Labyrinth. We have the triple Lord, as well as triple Pot of Extravagance, and the double Labyrinth. Yeah, I think this is pretty standard for these types of lists. As for the traps, 2 Torrential Tribute. Torrential is nice, but it's not insane. And the reason for that is because it doesn't actually trigger any of these guys' effects, because they will be off of the field when they would activate. So there's that. It does trigger these guys, which is nice, but it doesn't actually trigger your effects to gain you more advantage. That's where something like Compulse comes in, as well as Dogmatic Punishment. These 2 actually do trigger those a little bit more, so that's why we're maxing out on those. Realistically, though, I'd probably cut Dogmatic Punishment to 2 and add a second Solemn Judgment. That would definitely be better. I only have the one, but definitely should play the second one. It's very nice and does come up a lot. We have 2 Eradicator Epidemic Virus. This card is absolutely insane. Just in general, you call spell and you kind of just win the game. There are very few decks that can play through in Eradicator Epidemic Virus calling spell. And there is a setup where basically if you have Welcome Labyrinth and you have the Eradicator, you can do this on the opponent's turn, like during the standby phase. You just set these 2, you Eradicator them, and then it's game over. And basically, like, any way to get to Labyrinth also does that as well. So, that's cool. Yeah. And then, of course, we have ourselves the Double Ice Dragon's Prison. Honestly, this card is very hit or miss. Sometimes it feels absolutely insane. You get to rip a card out of the opponent's graveyard as well as banish a card from their field. And it's non-targeting, which is just very, very nice. However, sometimes it just doesn't do anything. So there's that. We have the triple Welcome Labyrinth. Welcome Labyrinth, just being able to special summon as well as be a removal spell under the Labyrinth. Labyrinth is very nice. That's all. Archfiend's Ghastly Glitch is good. I like it, but it is kind of a win more card. It feels like, I don't know. It's more of just like if your hand is weak, maybe you get to do something, or maybe you just absolutely get to do nothing because they ash it. Because apparently you can ash this because it has the effect to send a card to the graveyard. So yeah, it may just do nothing, which is kind of funny. And then, of course, the one Solemn Judgment. As for the extra deck, we have the one Entis, the one first Dark Lord. This is actually just as a Dogmatica punishment target for a for like something that's really big and difficult to get over. This is just kind of the biggest guy, or at least the one that I want to play. Technically, there are bigger ones, but we'll just throw in this one because it's funny. And then we have the Wind Pegasus as well as our other target. Realistically, this should just be 3 Entis for our 3 punishments. It's really not that hard. But alas, or maybe like something big. As for the rest of the cards, these are just kind of like corner case cards. Gallant Granite can technically search out the Rock Lord of the Heavenly Prison. Baguska is funny. We have some 4s. Maybe we make this. Link Karibo is for the backjack. Honestly, I should probably also be playing things like the Almirage or Link Spider or something along those lines. Or sorry, not Link Spider. Yeah, the Almirage as well. But I'm just not. You just play the Almirage. I'm being silly. We have the Cerberus, the Phoenix, the Masquerena, Dark, Unicorn, BLS, Access Code, and Underworld Goddess. Honestly, they don't really matter because we're just going to go Pot of Extravagance and banish all of them anyway, but there they are. Now, one thing that I am not playing is Terror of the Overroot, and the simple reason for that is because I actually don't think it's worth even the UR crafting material. Target a card your opponent controls and card in your graveyard, send the card in the field to the graveyard, set the other card to your opponent's field. It's not terrible, but like it's good removal, to be fair. But the reason I'm not that big of a fan of it is, one, it's targeting removal, and 2, while yes, it does send the card to the graveyard and give your opponent another card, it doesn't really do anything. Like, it may just give them something else back, and it's not as proactive. While yes, it does allow you to get rid of things like back row, which is very nice, I don't think that's as necessary when you have Eradicator, as well as access to things like Welcome Labyrinth and Ghastly Glitch and stuff like that. So I really just don't think it's all too necessary. Also, there isn't a lot of back row that is really problematic for this deck to begin with. So I really just don't think it's as useful. Like, I'd rather just play the 3rd Ghastly Glitch. It kind of does the same thing, except it gives you more advantage. So there's that. Yeah, I think Terror of the Overroot was kind of overhyped, and I don't think it's even worth it in this build. But let's hop into the duels and show you how this deck performs. Alright, so here we are going first, and our hand's pretty interesting, to be fair. We're going to start off with the Pot of Extravagance to draw 2. And it goes through. Fantastic. And we actually draw into the Ariana, which means that we can actually go and grab up the Labyrinth, because we are going to be able to set the Welcome Labyrinth. So we're going to grab the Labyrinth, activate the Lord of the Heavenly Prison, set 2 and pass. So, we are playing against Branded. The IDP will be very nice here. Maybe. But the Welcome Labyrinth should be okay. They're going to go for the Polymerization here. I go for the Welcome Labyrinth here as well, because I do not want them to go into Guardian Chimera. Chimera is a no-no. But this also is going to trigger everything in sequence. They're going to droplet for 1, negating the lovely Labyrinth, which means we do not get to pop a card out of their hand, but that is okay. We're going to special summon back the Tovi. We're also going to special summon back the Chandelier because of Ariana drawing into the 2nd Stovey. We're not going to trigger the Lord of the Heavenly Prison here because we still want our back row protected. Out comes the Branded Fusion, and they are going to fuse into Lubellion. Yay. Lubellion effect, Tragedy effect, Chain, Branded in red. Guess what? You're a goof. I'm going to banish, or I'm going to steal your Fallen Volboss. And no, I am not going to banish it, because guess what? That means that you cannot actually utilize the effect of your Lubellion in order to shuffle away to go for a Mirror Jade, meaning that they only end on the queue here. This is one of the reasons why I think Ice Dragon's Prison is very nice. You don't even have to banish the card. You can just kind of steal it and be like, okay, now you don't have this resource. Suffer. And yeah, as you can see, it very much so came in clutch there. They're going to switch everything to 0 and then go for the polymerization. I'm actually going to just tag out for the second Welcome Labyrinth here. And the reason for that is because I'm just kind of getting monsters off of my field. I know that they're going to go for the Guardian Chimera, and I do want to just have access to something. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're doing here. They actually pop the Labyrinth, which is kind of funny. But, okay. They're going to go to battle. They don't have the ability to clean up my board. So, yeah. At the end phase, we will just pitch another card, set the Welcome Labyrinth, or the Labyrinth, and pass the turn. We draw the Maxi, funny, and we are going to flip up Labyrinth. We're going to flip up the Welcome Labyrinth. They are going to chain their Maxi, or their branded in red. I'm going to chain my Maxi, Dear Lanta, and out comes another Chimera. I guess. I don't know. I guess they're not paying attention to what is actually happening, but I don't target their card for destruction. They do not have a branded opening engraved, and when they summon the Guardian Chimera, I just promptly deal with it. Now, this also triggers a whole bunch of effects, so away we go. They're going to bring back their Guardian Chimera. They're also going to negate the effect of our lovely Labyrinth, but honestly, that just doesn't matter. We drew the Eradicator Epidemic Virus due to them activating their Maxi. We're going to pop their monster once again, due to the fact that we can just do that due to lovely Labyrinth, and I wanted to pop the one in particular. Yeah, so there you go. We also happen to draw into Ice Dragon's Prison as well, so there's that. But we're going to go for the Eradicator Epidemic Ravage Call spell, activate the effect of our lovely Labyrinth in order to special summon another monster from the graveyard, and also special summon out the Lord of the Heavenly Prison. At that point, we will also activate the Welcome Labyrinth to pop another card on their field. They realize that the game is over, and they concede, because they're also not getting any spells, and yeah. Alright, and here we are once again going first. Ooh, another Eradicator. Well, let's set a couple of cards, activate the effect of our Lord in the Heavy Prison, so that we can activate our Eradicator, and proceed. Oh. I see. Numeron Wall. Interesting. They're going to normal summon the Numeron Wall, because reasons, and then they're going to go for the Numeron Network, and they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to go for the punishment here. I'm going to punishment this one, and then I'm also going to punishment a second one, just in case, so that just in case if they do end up having something like, I don't know, the limiter removal, I am able to actually not die. So that's basically what I'm doing here. We're going to set the Pot of Extravagance here, and then I also am just going to get rid of a monster on my field and call spells. Yeah, that was actually the reason that I did all of this. Eradicator Epidemic Virus. I lied to you, I tricked you, I bamboozled you. Anyway, away goes his entire field and his hand, and we see that he had 2 Kaijus in hand, so that's very funny. Anyway, away goes his entire field again, due to the limiter removal, not due to the call. Anyway, we're going to draw 2. We also drew Pot of Extravagance for turn, because of course we did, and out comes the Chandelier. We get to set the Welcome Labyrinth. We're going to activate the Labyrinth, and at this point, the game is over. They draw the Harpy's Feather Duster for a turn as well. You love to see it. And they scoop it up. Good game. Alright, now here we are actually going second. So what can we do going second? Well, we drew Pot of Greed. So, you know. They're going to activate their Prosperity and reveal that they are on a Runick. Oh, there's the Fountain. They also have Dimensional Fissure and a whole bunch of other things. They, of course, grab the Fountain there. And they're going to activate the Fountain, they're going to activate Messenger of Peace, they're going to activate Smiting Storm in order to special summon out the Hugin, and then they will pass. Not actually activating the Hugin's effect, I think it's just there for protection. Honestly, I'm not sure I like the Hugin nearly as much in this situation as something like the Munin, but I don't really think it matters all that much. I just think, like, hey, I could just walk over the Hugin pretty easily here. We're going to go and activate the Pot of Greed, and of course we banish the one target for the Absolute King backcheck. So whoops, this is why we play the second one, the Almirage, just in case One of them gets banished, maybe the second one won't, but we're just going to set 3 and pass anyway, because who cares? We're going to activate the Dogmatica Punishment to pop the Hugin, which would then send an Entis, which would then allow us to pop the Fountain. And the reason that we're doing this is due to the fact that if we do this, honestly, I don't really have anything. Oh, there goes my Eradicator Epidemic Virus. Oh, yeah, right. Because this would trigger the Fountain, and they would be able to draw 2, but we would pop it. But it doesn't matter. This is also all happening in the standby phase. They're going to call by it. Cool. Great. Fantastic. Anyway, Gary comes out. As soon as Gary comes out, I'm going to pop my own Absolute Backjack, and the reason for that is so that we can stack the deck and then set a Compulse. Compulse is funny. Doesn't really do anything. And now they finally pay for Messenger of Peace. They also, for some... Tribute Set. They Tribute Set. I do not know what that card is, but okay. Hey, look, I drew a Pot of Greed off of the top. We're going to banish 6, we're going to draw 2, and we draw into the Ariana. So we're going to activate the, or we're going to go for the Labyrinth. We're going to then bounce the monster, which will then trigger the Labyrinth. To special summon the Lovely. Lovely will then set the Compulse, and we will activate the Lord of the Heavenly Prison. They're going to go for Flashing Fire. I'm going to actually bounce my own Lovely Labyrinth so that they don't banish more cards, but they are going to go and shuffle back 2 to draw 2, but I'm going to trigger a whole bunch of cards here as well. So we're going to set the Eradicator Epidemic Virus off of the Lord of the Heavenly Prison and say, basically, alright, kill me now, otherwise you lose. Now we already banished the one Eradicator, which is why I did this again as soon as I could, so that, you know, they couldn't possibly banish the other one. I guess technically if they drew into the spell trap removal, that would do it. But I'm kind of just like, alright, you gotta have it. They go for the special summon of the Gary. Gary is going to add back the Fountain. Fountain is going to shuffle back a card. Doesn't really matter. We do have the Compulse, which is kind of funny, but it's not really going to do anything. Out comes Majesty's Fiend, and their battle phase is skipped, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go for the Compulse just to deal with the Majesty's Fiend because it's funny, and it allows us to also trigger our effects in order to get rid of a whole bunch of things, and then we can go for the Eradicator, dealing with all of their spell cards, and reveal that they were on 2 Majesty's Fiend. Oh dear! That is the end of the game. My opponent realizes this as we rip the last card out of their hand due to the effect of the Lovely, and they concede. Look, I know some of you are like, Eradicator's a stupid card. You're not playing a cool, fun deck. And to that I say, have you ever resolved this card? It's very fun. Maybe not for your opponent, but it's certainly fun for you. Way more fun than any of those like Flip Floodgate, like Skill Drain or what have you. That doesn't get the neurons activated. Seeing your entire opponent's hand and watching it disappear as they realize that the game is now over is peak fun. It's so incredibly enjoyable, and being able to do it so consistently due to the consistent access to the Lovely, as well as Lord of the Heavenly Prison, being able to also search this card, and having access to a Pot of Greed is very cool, if I do say so myself. So, honestly, I really like this deck. There's a lot that I like about it, mostly to do with the traps, honestly. Now, I will say, because I know everyone is going to be like, of course you like it. It's because it's a waifu deck. That's why you like it. And to that I will say, yeah, basically. I mean, yeah, I do like the waifus, sure, of course. Who doesn't? They're nice, but that's not that's not why I play decks. I play them because they are fun. I play them due to the enjoyment that I receive from them. And this style of deck is so nice. It's like a breath of fresh air, right? You see all these monster heavy combos and stuff like that, and sometimes you just want to set 5 and pass, you know? Sometimes you just want to set a couple of cards and stare at the pretty dragon lady in your hand, you know? Well, I get it. I do. And that's why I like this deck. This is too late for me to be recording things. This is like 3 in the morning. And I'm a little bit loopy, I'm not gonna lie. So, anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much so appreciated. And if you want to check out more content like this as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.